Cowl, not too big, facts kind of small. The people there know they got it all. The simple life for me. Hele to Kauai, Hele by the bay. Waialua River Valley is where I used to play. The canyons of Waimea, standing all alone. The magic of the garden now is calling me back home. When I was young, not too smart, I left my home looking for a brand new start, to find a place that's better still. Now I know I never will. Hele on to Kauai, Hele by the bay. Waialua River Valley is where I used to play. The canyons of Waimea, standing all alone. The magic of the garden now calling me back home.
Aloha everyone, this is Tanya coming to you on location from the beautiful island of Hawaii, where my husband and I are hanging out for just a couple more days before we head back to Minnesota. We have been on vacation for almost 2.5 weeks now, celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary. We were on the island of Kauai for about 2 weeks, and now we're on the big island here for about 4 days. So in all that time, I have had lots of chance to work on my knitting and complete some projects. Apologies for the background noise. I am outside, so there will be bird noise and probably people noise occasionally. Maybe you'll even hear the ocean. But I wanted to, before we headed back home, share what I have completed and what I am still working on. So if you watched my previous episode where I was talking about travel knitting and what I was going to take with me, you will have seen some of the things that I had packed. One of them was this long time with my Dreaming of Paris socks by Hele. And this is a really beautiful pattern with some ribbing at the top, followed by some lace, and then striping, and a different color heel and toe. So it takes 2 50-gram balls of yarn. I have not weighed it yet, of course, because I have not gotten home to have my scale, but let me grab my other one. I have finished both of them. It turned out really nice, and I've made these in Very Fun Yarns Jewel Fingering, which is an MCN base merino cashmere nylon, and they are wonderful, and I cannot wait to wear them when I go back to Minnesota where it is cooler. And also I hope to put together some kits for these in the coming months. If not this exact color, then some different ones that I will hopefully be working up in my kitchen dye area when I get home. So that's the Dreaming of Paris socks. The other project I did finish was my Advent cowl that I used my Very Fun Yarns Holiday Countdown kit for. So remember, the kit came with 12 20-gram mini skeins in fingering weight. And here is mine. It turned out, so I'm going to back up a little bit. The sun is still kind of shining on me here, but you can see. So this is a pattern. This is a pattern that is knit in the round, like a tube, and so it's all double layered. You do a provisional cast on. Oops, excuse me, I just dinged my chair. So you do a provisional cast on, and then you switch the colors as you go. The pattern I would say I used it loosely, in that the designer gives you different things to do between each color section. I chose to just do 2. I either did eyelets, so that's what the eyelets look like, or I did a pearl bump. So There are other options in the pattern as well. And I think that pattern is set up to use about 10 grams for 24 different colors. And since my mini set only came with 12 20 grams, what I did is I divided each ball into, or each mini skein into two 10-gram balls. And then I started with, let's see, which one was day one here? I can't even remember. Oh, Pink Moon Boots was day one. And so I knit the 10 grams, and then I changed the color and I went on to the next one. After I had gotten 12 of the colors done, I decided I didn't want it quite as long, so I chose my 6 favorite colors and I did those. So I, in essence, changed 18 different times. So I have 18 different colors. Here's what it looks at. It is very hot to wear this in Hawaii right now, but you can kind of see it fits perfect around my neck. It's not too tight. It's not, I didn't want to have a cowl that would wrap around 3 times. I thought that would be just too much. So this is perfect, and I am totally going to do this again with mini skeins or leftovers. I actually think it would be really great for a gift as well. So I believe the name of the pattern that I referenced is Advent Cowl Wallop 2019 or something like that. I will link it below along with all of the different patterns that I use. So that turned out really great. Then I did not get as much knitting on, as, of course, as many projects as I thought I would. Not because I didn't knit, partly because I knit a lot on my husband's sweater, which I'm going to show you in a minute, partly because I messed up some things and had to unknit them, and partly because we just went on a lot of adventures and I found myself not wanting to knit while we were driving, but rather just wanting to enjoy the scenery. So I'll show you what I have. Oh, I forgot I do have a half finished object, though I think I'm going to be ripping this one out. So this is a long time whip. I think I cast it on last June. This is the Jelly Roll socks. And this again, you have these cute little, this is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is by Mara Catherine Briner. Here's the pattern. And this one, I started such a long time ago. Oh, I will say, what I did learn, backtrack, about these socks is the pattern sizing that was closest to mine was 60 stitches. Well, I learned that I am actually better with a 60 stitch sock than a 64 stitch sock. The 64 stitch is just a tiny bit big, and these I started at 64 stitches. So that, coupled with the fact that this slip stitch section was a little too tight, had I been at home, you can kind of see how it kind of pulls in. Now, of course, I haven't blocked these yet, but if I'd have been at home, I would have probably gone up a needle size. I knit my socks at size 0 DPNs, and I think I would have gone up to a 1 for this color work section. So the pattern is really well written, it's really fun, I still like it, but I have a feeling when I get home I'm going to kind of sleep on it and just sort of see. I'm not going to start the second sock, but I think I'm going to probably rip back to this color work section, and then I'm going to go up a needle size, do the color work section, and then finish them a little bit shorter so I can give them as a gift to my mom, who has slightly smaller feet, and I know that she will love these for the summertime. So Jelly Roll socks by Mara Catherine Briner. And then the 2 other projects that I've been working on most have been my husband's sweater, which is the So Basic pattern by Maxim Sear. And this actually is going really well, although I realized here, I'll show you what it looks like first. Here it is. So it is in Very Tough Sport in the Under the Sea colorway, and it has this really nice rib on the sleeves. It is a raglan top-down raglan sweater with a little bit of short rows in the back for shaping. And I know that I did a swatch and I tested my swatch, and I thought it matched what it was supposed to be, even though I'm using sport weight yarn. Well, I was knitting for a while, and I looked at it and I was like, this looks kind of big, and I'm glad that I checked because it was big, and I checked just in time. So even though my husband's measurements are for an extra large in the pattern, I'm actually going to make him a small because my gauge is off. So my stitch gauge is off, however my row gauge is almost perfect. So I don't have to worry so much about the length this way when I'm knitting it. I can still just follow the pattern for fewer stitches. So I'm getting close to being able to what am I trying to say? Getting close to be able to split for the sleeves, but because I started with a larger number, my stitches for the body are already where they need to be, but I have to increase just a tad bit more on the sleeves, which I think will be fine. It's not a big deal. I just have only been increasing on the sleeve stitches for the last couple rounds, but it's going really nice, and I am looking forward to knitting on this tomorrow, which will be our last day here. While I kind of chill out. Today I sort of worked on photo editing and all that kind of stuff. But. So the last project I want to show you is my muscle Burra Hat, and this is knit in Lavender Loon yarn, the Candy Cane Forest colorway, and this was one of those wah-wah. So I had knit quite a ways on this because I knit on the airplane when I was coming in to the islands, and this is still how much I have. So, okay, backtrack. I looked at it and I was like, this looks like it is, apologies if you can hear all the talking. We are in a terraced sort of condo where people have balconies above each other, so sometimes you can hear people talking. So I had worked quite far on this. This is where I am right now, so not very far, but I had to rip back all the way to here. It was way too big. I chose the adult medium size, which is what I knit for my son and my husband, and I thought, okay, it's the same needle size, it should be fine. Well, the fact, when I started it, I was knitting it on stainless steel needles instead of bamboo, and I always find that I think I might have even been knitting with DPNs, and I find that my gauge is tighter than it is when I am knitting with circulars. Ooh, big rock though. And they have you, or Ysolda in the pattern has you measure the gauge when you're up still right around the decreases, so you know if you need to keep increasing, or not decreases, increases, so you know if you need to keep increasing. Well, I thought adult medium would be fine, but it was way too big. So anyway, long story short, I ripped back all the way to the increases, and I took some out, and I'm making now an adult small, and I think that'll be perfect. The yarn is a little bit lighter weight fingering, so I think that coupled with the stainless steel and all that jazz kind of made it a little too big. So here is where I ripped back to. So this is how much I've done since then, and I still have this much that I wrapped around here to get back to where I ripped out, so it was quite a bit. This will I'm going to save this for when I'm on the airplane because it's small. I keep it in my little bag that I made myself, and it's perfect to put in my carry-on, and it's just around and around, and so that's my plan for on the plane. So I think that's it. It's getting close to sunset here on the island, and I think people are getting ready to have their dinner on their balcony, which is why it's getting louder. But I just wanted to take a moment to share those things with you. I'm hoping to put together this video so it can go up either the day we get home or while we're en route coming home, just so that when we get home, I'm sure it will be a bit of a chaos getting back into reality and everything. but I will certainly hopefully be back in a couple weeks to share some more knitting with you, and maybe even some things that are going into the dye pots for Very Fun Yarns, because being here on the islands, I have had lots of inspiration for colors and ideas to turn into yarn. So anyway, I think that's it. I hope you are all well, you're staying healthy and having fun whatever you're making. Mahalo for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
I saw you in my dream. We were walking hand in hand on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. We were playing in the sun. We were having so much fun on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. The sound of the ocean soothes my restless soul. Sound of the ocean rocks me all night long. Those hot, long summer days, lying there in the sun on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. The sound of the ocean soothes my restless soul. The sound of the ocean rocks me all night long. Oh, last night in my dreams I saw your face again. We were there in the sun on a white sandy beach. Oh, oh.